Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium, and I don't know why I'm doing this video today other than my spirit guides are just workhorses, right? They're workhorses. So here's why I'm doing this video today. This is about politics. And really, I have some good news. And that's why I'm doing this video. I like to share good news with you guys because honestly, this country is kind of a shit show right now, right? So when I can make sense of things, and you guys know, if you've watched me for a while, you know I'm always watching the timeline, right? Like I make these predictions, I read the energy, I get the spirit guides, they tell me what they think is going to happen. But in the end result, this is energy. This is like catching air. Can you catch air? No. So we're doing our best to read the energy to see what these crazy people with free will end up doing. Okay. So what we're doing a lot of times, the spirit guides are saying the energy suggests that blah, blah, blah will do blah, blah, blah. But the end result is they have free will. Now, the caveat to that is sometimes it is written, right? It is written. It means that this was pre-decided. When I predicted that Warnock was going to win, they told me it's going to happen. They told me Biden was going to win. There was no discussion. They even get tired of me asking the question. They're like, we've already told you, right? So there's some situations where it's done. It's a done deal. Like, for instance, Ukraine is eventually going to win. That's a done deal. The fact that it's going to be rebuilt with modern buildings, glass buildings, that architects are going to fight to give away their services so that they can be a part of the rebuilding, that's a done deal. It's a matter of timing. So there's a lot of things that are done deals, but there's many more things that are really about grabbing air, really about the energy. So why I'm coming on today, because today, frankly, is my day off. I have a Saturday off. It's amazing. And I also want to say happy Memorial Day to all those that have served. And for this reason, here's my dad. The flag that was on my dad's coffin. My dad was in the Korean War. Thank you to everyone. All my brothers served. I come from a pretty heavily military family. So thank you. And thank you to everyone that gave the ultimate price. Okay. So why am I doing this video today? Well, because I have some good news for you, I think. Now I got to tell you, I just left the coffee shop where I did a short video showing my dog that never wants to leave the coffee shop because she has adoring fans there and she gets fed scones. But anyway, on my way back from the coffee shop, I was having a conversation with my spirit guides. I don't know why you guys want to talk to your spirit guides. I don't know why. So my conversation was something like this. Oh, I should talk to my viewers about this energy and about how it's moving really quickly. And there's really things are going to happen that we can't explain or know. And even psychics are going to be surprised. So I was talking to them and I was saying, I'm a pragmatic, practical person. And when I'm looking at these timelines, as Susan, not as a channel of my spirit guides, I'm watching just as you guys are. Is this prediction going to come true? Is there something in my 3D reality newsfeed that's going to kind of tip me off that, yeah, this is happening. This is really going to happen. I mean, we all do it. We're like, okay, we're going to take this on good faith that we're not going to go down the sinkhole, down the drain, but we're still going to watch, right? Because we're practical, pragmatic people. A lot of my viewers are. So my spirit guide said, well, you know what the opposite of pragmatic and practical is? The opposite is spontaneous and fun and things like that. And I'm like, why? Okay, so what are you trying to say exactly? That I'm not spontaneous and fun because I'm a hermit and I live by myself and I've been, perfectly happy like that. Okay, so, maybe I'll understand that. And what they did to me was rude. Okay, I don't care what you say. It was rude. I'm driving down the street. I'm having this conversation with them. And then I say, that's true. right? Fair point, fair point. I probably could use to move out of my practical, pragmatic energy and kind of expand, right? Expand, be more spontaneous, be more fun, right? Do things that are, well, spontaneous. So I was telling them, I will take this under, and then they just dropped the word. The word was missing. So I'm driving going, I will take this under, I'll take this under, what is that word? What is that word? I'll take it under. You guys have seen me do this in my videos. Going right along, channeling right along, and all of a sudden the word is missing. So do you know what they did? Do you know why they did that? Anybody? Hands? Show of hands? Anybody in the audience? No. Because they wanted to prove to me that I'm pragmatic and practical and I can't just be spontaneous and laugh at myself. I take things too seriously, apparently. And you guys think I'm really funny, but that's because I'm being serious and I don't realize that I'm being funny, but that's funny. So they were proving to me for at least 8 blocks that I take things too seriously, which is something I've heard from my dad my whole life. This one's for you, Dad. I don't think it's funny. I never did think it was funny. Okay. Now about politics, I promise you. Here's the deal, you guys. I'm piecing together. My little pragmatic, analytical Virgo is like on fire. The first thing that happened was Tucker Carlson went up in flames. That's the first thing that happened, right? I mean, anybody that is a sign. If you're looking for a sign, here's your sign. Fox News fires Tucker Carlson. That's a sign. Another sign is that this big expose of Justice Thomas with Harlan Crow. Now, this information has been out there, and the spirit guides told us in the very beginning of all of this, meaning when Biden was elected, that this information is going to be printed in books, public books. And when I say information, I mean evidence. It turns out, actually, they're reminding me right now, one of these court cases listed books. The evidence, their evidence was books that have been written about Donald Trump, including, apparently, do you remember the guy that was the doorman at his Trump Tower, one of those towers, that was going to go to the Inquirer and tell them that he had knowledge of Trump fathering an illegitimate girl child with a concierge at the hotel. And it was catch and kill, right? So the Inquirer paid this guy off, paid him $30,000, and then killed the story, catch and kill. Well, that guy wrote a book. The doorman wrote a book. He self-published a book on this, and that book is part of the actual evidence listed in this court case, along with everybody else's book, right? Everybody freaking wrote a book, because in that energy that we were in, there was nothing. Like, the law didn't care about the laws. The judicial courts didn't care about the laws. The media couldn't be bothered to report about the scandals. It's like during Trump's reign of terror, it was like we were living in this circus hall of mirrors where no one was sure what was happening, because nothing was being mirrored back to us. In reality, everything was being mirrored back to us, distorted. The courts wouldn't take the case up. The police officers wouldn't, observe the laws. It was just time in our world of complete aberration. Like, nothing was real. Nothing was working the way it normally, or the way we thought it normally worked. So now, and I do believe that this is astrological. I read the energy, and then I've found that the energy tends to match the astrology. So I do believe it has something to do with Pluto or these astrological things that we're going through. But the thing that I want to tell you is that we're clear of that energy. We are now, isn't it Pluto? Isn't it? You guys will tell me in the comments that there's a planet, it's going in and out. It went in and then it went out. So we're going to go back into this kind of funhouse mirror land for a month or two, and then we'll come back out to clear sight. So why do I think this is important, and what has happened besides, Tucker Carlson being fired? Literally Friday, he's like, see you Monday. And Monday, it's like, no Tucker Carlson, right? That was extreme. And that was because we now found out that the Dominion lawsuit, that's one of the caveats of the Dominion lawsuit. They said, hey, we'll settle this, but Tucker's got to go. Now, if you don't think Dominion had them by the short hairs, and they're able to say your cash cow's got to go, if you don't think Dominion really hurt Fox News, you got another thing coming. And that Dominion lawsuit, which came from Trump, that Dominion lawsuit changed the landscape. It took Tucker Carlson off of the stage right when we needed him off of the stage. The things that we're about to do, and I say we, and I guess I mean democracy or the DOJ or the light, is start holding people accountable, one after another, after another, after another. And if you have someone like Tucker Carlson on the airwaves spouting lies and things and craziness and generally ginning up violence, that's going to make everything much more tenuous, much more volatile to be able to get what we need done. So can you see, it's almost like 3D chess. The light is playing 3D chess with these dumb, big dummies. You can't win against the light. You're not going to win against the light. So let me tell you why, what tipped me over the edge to make me do a video on my day off on Saturday. What tipped me over the edge was the Texas Attorney General Paxton. I haven't done a lot of readings on Paxton because honestly, when I do this type of work, I need to be able to distance the Susan part of this equation, of this energetic equation. I need to put Susan over there. Give her a book, give her a bag of Cheetos or whatever the hell, cheese, y'all know the drill, donuts, whatever. She gonna go over there and eat. Never mind. Keep her busy so that the spirit guides can just come through clear. But when we feel some kind of way about something, well, then our ego, our energy gets in the middle of it. And I feel some kind of way about Paxton because this man has FBI federal indictments against him for years. I think possibly since 2015. 2015. Conveniently, right before Trump became president, and we went into this hall of mirrors where everything was an aberration and we couldn't figure out what was up and what was down and what was right and what was wrong. So all during that time, this man has been skating, delaying, obfuscating, dodging, all the while leading Texas into the blackest of black nights, the darkest of dark nights, right? Because he's our attorney general. He's the highest lawyer in the state, and he's been federally indicted, and he's serving, and he won. He ran and won. It makes your head want to explode. So you can understand why I didn't read on him much. I honestly didn't ask the question. If you don't ask the question, you don't get the answer. Right? That's why I like asking you guys questions for political questions, because I never thought to ask that question. Therefore, I never got the answer. I never thought to ask about Paxton. I never saw this coming. In the last few days, the Texas Republicans found, their, their pair, and even the women. Oh, I got ovaries all of a sudden, and have announced over 30 articles of impeachment against Paxton. Now, this man, Paxton, used Texas taxpayer money to fight the federal indictments against him. Used taxpayer money to hire attorneys. Now, Texas care about their money. They got a big old rainy day fund. They got a bunch of money. And you don't be touching their money. They ain't nobody gonna touch their money. You spent, oh no, that could be part of it. But honestly, I think the part is the light. The light. The guides told you guys. The only way out of this, and I truly mean this, is for these yahoos, these criminals, to break the law. We cannot get rid of them based on their dastardly, laws that they make. We can't get rid of them based on their inhumane actions. But if they break a law, well, that's a law. And the light is coming to collect all of those debts. You broke a law, you broke a law, you broke a law, you broke a law. Snatch, 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 snatch. So that's what's happening. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Let's get some church up in here. The light is here. The light is here. That's why you see Tucker Carlson gone. That's why you see Paxton gone. That man is gone. He might as well pack his bags. He's going to pack his bags so fast. They're showing me that his socks and underwear are sticking out the zipper of the suitcase. And he just didn't even care. He's like, it's good enough. I can't get it zipped. It's good enough. We got to run. Just like he did not that long ago when they served him another subpoena at his house. And it's on video of that man running to his car where his wife was throwing up some blocks to the server. Now, is that a man? Is that a Texan? Fellow Texans, fellow Republican Texans, I would like to ask you, is that a man? Is that a Texan? You know it's not. You know it's not. Come on, why y'all covering for these criminals? So the light is coming. The most important message I have for you is this. The light moves fast. How fast is light? The speed of sound, the speed of light. How fast is light? While I'm over here waiting for the regular old clock, tick, 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 tick of the clock of the time of my reality, the light doesn't follow my reality. The light doesn't follow Earth time. The light follows its own time. So what I feel is going to happen is that we're looking, again, back to the pragmatic, back to the practical. Everybody's saying, well, if Trump does get indicted, his first court date is not until March of next year. We already know that. That's been set. He's been indicted. He gets his day in court, and that court date is March of next year. So people are saying now, well, if Jack Smith indicts him, if Fani Willis indicts him, then those court dates aren't going to happen until May, June, July, August. By that time, Trump will have secured the nomination. By that time, we won't be able to go forward because there's a cooling off or some kind of, bubble around presidential elections, which, might I add, the guides are reminding me, no one has ever honored within the Republican Party. A week before the election, the FBI threw Hillary Clinton under the bus. So they don't mind these rules or laws or traditions when it's Republicans, but the Democrats are like, oh, we've got to mind tradition. Okay, that's out the window. I'm gonna tell you right now, Democrats are getting their butt kicked with this debt ceiling thing. It's out the window. The Democrats are going to grow a pair and they're going to have to fight. If they want to fight, we got to fight. That's all there is to it. There's no more Mr. Nice Guy. But while the Democrats are in their back room trying to get their, armor on and putting it on backwards and upside down and everything else, the light, thank freaking God, is going through, going boom, boom. So we have a lot of help here. Why? Can you explain to me, back to my pragmatic, practical self, can anyone explain to me why all of a sudden Paxton would, the Texas Republicans would all of a sudden say, you got to go. You got to go. Why? Why now? Because I don't really think it's the money. I don't think it's the money. This state This state has spent money on stuff they shouldn't have spent on. I think it's a change of the energy. I think, now, one thing you could say about these Republicans, they ain't no dummies when it comes to reading the room, right? They're reading the room. They are, even though they publish polls, which are fake, they read in the real polls. They're reading the real data. And the real data suggests they're going to get shellacked. The real data suggests, might I say, proves that everything Trump touches dies, withers on the vine, if you know what I'm saying. They know that they're screwed, you guys. They can't disavow Trump because Trump has dirt on all of them. They're in that damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. So what they're going to try to do is save what little bit they can save. So they're going to, again, the guides have said this time and again, right? They're going to sacrifice people. Remember when I said that they were going to sacrifice Trump to the volcano god in Hawaii? And I mean, I didn't realize I had so many Hawaiian viewers. I mean, they were praying for me because apparently I done pissed off Pepe. I didn't know. I was just thinking back to some cartoon I saw. I didn't realize this stuff was real. But anyway, they're going to sacrifice Paxton. They're going to try to say, if we give you Paxton, we're going to keep Abbott and Patrick. Abbott is the Texas governor. Patrick is the Texas lieutenant governor. You see, it's again, Fox News. We're going to sacrifice Tucker Carlson. We're going to keep all these other crazy MFers. And we're going to hope that that satisfies the beast. It doesn't. It doesn't, because the beast is the light, y'all. And she don't care. She don't care who you sacrifice. If you done did a law, if you broke a law, you're going to pay the price. It's like the ultimate karmic beatdown. And I've said this before. If you're a Democrat and you broke a law, the light's going to pluck you out too. I don't care who you are. If you stole some candy off that counter last week, you're probably going to get plucked too. So, you know, this is where we are. This is why I'm doing this video. The light is faster. It's faster than the court system. It's faster than the court system. Everything is speeding up. So you will see, and in the last video I talked right about the comparison of one group of people wants to do the body punch, wants to just beat up Trump, beat up the Republican Party, take him down one punch at a time. Another faction wants to KO, get it over with. Let's get this over with. Stop dragging it out. Dragging it out is bad. It's bad for the economy. It's bad for our poll numbers. It's bad for everything. Knock them out. Drag them off. Get them off the stage. Get them out of sight. Tucker Carlson's out of sight. Not an influencer anymore. Take Trump, drag him off the stage, put him in the same lockdown as Tucker Carlson. Not an influencer anymore. Cooler heads can prevail. And I've always seen the Democrats and Republicans coming together with more bipartisanship after these people get taken off of the stage. So the light is coming. And here's another example. Last year, my understanding is that this happened last year. Last year, Lauren Boebert's son called 911. And there's a recording of it. And it's heartbreaking. If you ever yourself have been in an abusive family or any kind of abusive situation as a child or as a teenager, or you're just an empath or have a big heart, this is truly heartbreaking to hear this young guy's voice, because you can't, it's not faked. It's not faked. It's real. And he says in this call to 911 that his dad is throwing him around the house, not punching him, throwing him around the house. And the guy is sobbing. And then Lauren Boebert, mom, picks up the phone. This is the mom. I'm here. I know you guys have to check this out, but my husband is over at some other house and I know you have to check it out, but I'm here. Hold. I'm the mom. Dispassionate, cold. And that is playing, you guys, ad nauseum right now. I tried to not listen to it. I've seen it at least 10 times on various social media. I finally listened to it because I saw it so many times. I literally broke down and listened to it. If that happened to me, don't you think that's happening to millions of other people in the United States? I believe it is. And I believe this will be the beginning and end of Lauren Boebert, because I just mentioned it on the video before, and I have viewers that are commenting. I'm a nurse. I live in Colorado. I'm calling social services right now. I live in Colorado. I'm calling social services right now. How many calls do you think social services is getting over this matter that took place a year ago? How uncomfortable is that going to make our fellow politicians? Again, these people that operate in the dark don't want any light shining on them. They need to operate in the dark. So when there's public light, public attention, they're going to scurry. What does a roach do, y'all? I know all of us seen a roach. Don't lie. I know you have. They scurry off into the corner. Scurry back under that place. You can't get them with your shoe. That's what all these Republicans are doing. They're scurrying for cover because the light is coming for their asses. Right? That's why I want to share this video with you. There is hope. The light is moving at light speed. I don't think this is going to take as long as everybody thinks. I don't think this is going to be as, I just heard the word surgical, right? So I don't think it's going to be as messy. I think it is going to be messy, but let's quantify messy, right? Well, let's quantify messy. Messy is, frankly, anarchy, a civil war. Some of the timelines that I witnessed a couple of years ago that were to take place right now have not happened. Thank God. Due to, frankly, well, the light, the help of the light, but also due to having Biden, who's cool hand Luke. He's not a reactionary, he's pragmatic. He's predictable. He's going to be in the centrist. He's not a hothead. He's not a hothead. He's not going to just blow everything up to fix it. I'll fix this. Let's blow it all up and see where it lands, and then we can start over. Right? That's not him. So under this leadership and with this added astrological energy or light energy, whatever it is, all this stuff that could have been messier, we could have, there's so many ways this could have played out, right? What if the DOJ went after Trump and the Proud Boys within 8 months? What if right at the end of the Jan 6, they flurry of charges? Well, what would have happened was all those Proud Boys would have been in the street. All those people would have been in the street making our life hell, protesting, intimidating us with their guns. But what happened was the DOJ cool head prevailed. And they said, we're going to pluck the leaders out of these groups. We're going to cut them off at the head. We're going to cut their leadership off. And then we're going to prosecute them. And just now, Stuart Rhodes got a buttload of time. And he wasn't even at Jan 6. He wasn't even there. And they prosecuted him to the nth degree. Now, if you don't think the rest of those people are like, fine, look what they did to him, I'm not gonna act crazy. I don't want to go to jail for 15 or 20 years. That guy wasn't even there. And they look what they did to him. They did it to him because he had He was treasonous. It was seditious conspiracy. We had proof, we had evidence that he was involved in a plot to overthrow the United States of America, even though he never went to Jan 6. You guys, Trump is going down. All these people are going down. I believe it. I trust it. And now I have more and more evidence to help me believe that. And you will see as we go into these next months, you will see indictments. You will see pressure. You know what else I saw? Did you know, the guides are just telling me, did you know that the FBI thinks that they know the car and the license plate of the person that they think was the Jan 6 bomber? They followed that person that got out of some sort of metro and got into a car. So they know more than we think they know. And they've got all their cards, and they're not going to play them because they don't have to. They don't have to play these cards until they're ready. And when they're ready, they're going to play them all at once. It's the same playbook. This is how Stewart Rhodes is going to prison for a very long time. The DOJ took its time. They got the evidence. The key here is that we all know, just like Paxton delayed and played all the legal tricks that he could possibly play. And that worked for like 8 years. And we all know that Trump would do the same thing. We all know that he would play every legal trick he could possibly play. But they can't anymore. Paxton can't anymore. Stewart Rhodes can't anymore. Trump will not be able to play those tricks. And you want to know why? Because the DOJ has all this evidence, all these cards. It's insurmountable. It's insurmountable. Trump's legal team from Walmart. No shade on people that shop at Walmart. You know, he's down to the dregs of the dregs. We don't even know where Taco Pina went. He gone. His ragtag, pathetic, dime store, hustling legal team is going to be no match for this. When the DOJ and Jack Smith says, here's our cards, Trump is dead to rights. There will be no delays. There will be no shenanigans. There will be a court date. And that court date will not be, August of next year. It will not be August of next year. The light is working its magic. Everybody knows what's at stake here. The DOJ knows what's at stake. Smith, Garland, Biden, and the judges know what's at stake here. And they will get him a court date much faster than anybody is predicting. And you know what? We'll be surprised again, just like I was when I saw that Paxton has 30 counts of impeachment against him. Why all of a sudden now? Somebody explain it to me. It's not explainable. It's the light. The light shall not be explained. The light is the light. And if you broke a crime, you're going to pay a price for it. And that's what the guide said from the very beginning. The only way out of this is to hold these people accountable for laws on the books. That's what they said. We have to go after the crimes, laws on the books. And luckily for us, these big dummies been breaking laws for a long time, because that became the world in which they lived in. They started to believe that they were bigger than anybody else, that they were more powerful than the law or the Constitution or the voters. And this, my friends, is part of that thing that we say. The F around and find out. Well, now we're in the find out phase, aren't we? They've been effing around for a long time. Well, now we're in the find out phase. And the find out phase, in my opinion, is going to be on turbocharge. It's going to be much faster than we can believe, because democracy cannot withstand this kind of imbalance. It cannot withstand this type of imbalance. And the guides have also told you over and over again, why do we have help? Why is the light here now? Well, I think a lot of it has to do with astrology, but I also think that our earth is out of balance because the power quotient is out of balance. Hunger, homelessness, killing, violence, thievery. The heart versus the dark is out of balance. When the earth is out of balance, she sends out an out of balance vibration. Her normal vibration becomes aberrant. There's that word again. They just want to use it. I guess they just want to use it during this whole time. It becomes out of sync. And that sends out a vibration that doesn't match. It's out of calibration. And that affects other existences. And other existences start getting buffeted by our we like rolling down the road with our broke tire. We got to, you know what I mean? And the rest of the earth is like, what's wrong with them? They get their tire fixed. Dang, earth has gone crazy over there, right? So they're like, we need to go get them some help because they done messing up we got all peace and love over here. Earth has got out of its yard again and it's messing with us. So we got help. We got help to come down here and sort this stuff out. But they can only sort out what's truly what humans have decided is right and wrong. It's not about their own version of right and wrong. It's our version of right and wrong. In the United States, we have a constitution, we have amendments, we have laws. Therefore, the light is like, let me follow your own guidebook. Humans of the United States created this guidebook. They wanted to live by these principles. Okay, I'll follow the humans' principles and I'll just help them out. And that's why Lauren Boebert, a year later, is going to be drugged through the mud. Truly the anti-mother of the year. And she's going to pay a price for this. And by the way, I got that her husband is an accomplice in something. And this is all allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Oh, hello, everybody. Yeah, I ended that video and I was editing it. And I said, I didn't say, do I talk to myself? Yes. But in this case, it wasn't me. It was all of you saying, are you kidding, Susan? Are you for real kidding me? You're going to do a video on Memorial Day weekend and not talk about the debt ceiling, not talk about the fact that we're about to default, not talk about the fact that our place is on fire, and you want to talk about all this other stuff? Are you kidding me? So here I am. I decided to go brew a cup of coffee. By the time you watch this, it will be several hours later because that's the process takes time. And talk to you about the debt ceiling. Okay. The reason that I didn't talk to you about the debt ceiling in the video you just watched was because that video was about crimes on the books, laws on the books, law and order, karma, and the light. And this is not against the law. It's not against the law to be stupid or egotistical, inhumane, any of those things. It's not against the law. Therefore, the channeling that I was doing did not include the debt ceiling. But I realized when I was editing that I could hear all of you screaming at the screen going, Susan, we're about to go off a cliff. Why aren't you talking about the debt ceiling? Here I am going to talk about the debt ceiling. Okay, first of all, you should understand that if my spirit guides don't have me in a tizzy, if I'm not, we got to talk about the debt ceiling, then they're not worried. If they're not worried, usually I'm not worried, right? They're not worried about the debt ceiling. This is not something that they feel like they need to send out the alarm about, but I will talk about it. I will tell you, so today is Saturday, the 27th of May, and the Republicans went home. You know, they left. The Republican House members left the building. They left America to burn. Right? I mean, I can talk about why that is. I've talked to you guys a lot about why they're doing this, right? They know they cannot win. We know they cannot win. We know that they cheat to win. We know they have to gerrymander the districts to add the 5 Republicans all in one little, place to get their votes. We know that. We know they cannot win if the race was fair. We know that is, I'm not even gonna waste time trying to prove that to you because it's the truth. Now, they can't win, so they've got to create problems. This is a really big problem. And truly, it's sort of like a game of chicken, if you remember that game where you have 2 people running at each other, or in this case, maybe 2 cars or 2 buses running right at each other. The game here is one of narrative. It's one of who wins the headlines. And this is not a game that the Democrats have ever been good at, ever. The Democrats really epitomize, every time I think of them, as Charlie Brown. When Charlie Brown is running towards that football and it gets pulled up every single time and Charlie Brown falls on his big fat butt. And you would think, after many times of that Charlie Brown would stop doing that. But that's the Democrats. They just think every time the Republicans are really going to hold that football and let him kick it. No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So this is really a really good lesson. You know, those lessons in our lives where you look back and you say, that sucked. That was terrible. That was the worst time of my life. But as you get some years on it, you're able to look back and go, well, that was a really good lesson. I really did learn that lesson. This is the Democrats. The Democrats are learning a really important lesson right now. And that is that they've just got to fight. They've got to get the narrative. If this is a game of narratives, if this is a game of headlines, that's the game they chose to fight. They could have passed the debt ceiling back in December, but they didn't. Because at that time, they had the House and the Senate. They really probably could have done it, but they chose not to. Now, somebody somewhere, some strategist said, we're going to make the Republicans own this. We're going to make the Republicans own that they want to burn down our economy, that they want to really and truly kill Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, and everything. And not pay our soldiers and not pay our bills. The Democrats were like, yeah, we're gonna make them own this. They're gonna own this. Except for here we are at the F around and the find out stage. And we're finding out that we're not quite the narrative people we thought we were. We have not done a good job of owning the airwaves, of standing out every minute and saying they want to take away Social Security. You know what happens is McCarthy goes, you really shouldn't say that. President Biden, you really shouldn't say that we want to take away Social Security. Let's make a pact that you don't say that because that's not very true. We don't think that's true. So don't do that, okay? Be nice. And the Democrats like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, you're right. No. The Democrats should find their deeply buried inner bitch and bring it all the way to their lips and say, these people are going to take away your Social Security, and here's the evidence. And they should say that every time they get a chance to breathe near a microphone. But no, let me make sure I didn't turn it off, y'all. But no, they're not doing that. They're losing the war of the narrative. They're losing the war of who's owning the headlines. Now, conveniently enough, when they decapitated Fox News by taking away Tucker, I almost said I almost said Tucker with an F, y'all. Tucker Carlson. CNN went Nazi and fascist on us. CNN said, hey, we'll take that slot. So it's very hard for them to get responsible news coverage. But this is where we are. This is why we're here. This is a war on narratives. And if the Democrats wanted to take this game of chicken to the 12th hour and say, we're going to make the Republicans eat their words, we're going to hold this against the Republicans, we're going to run on this in 24, this is going to be our platform in 24, well then, by God, they should start doing something, right? They should start running on that narrative. Now, what really is happening, because I am psychic, is that Biden, of course, he has that amendment in his pocket. And everybody in the progressives and the Democratic Party are like, why haven't you pulled this out? Why, if you have something that could put us out of our misery, that could release the fear and let us go, why would you not do that? Well, it turns out when I go into Biden's energy, and we all know there's a dark Brandon in there. We know he's a Scorpio. We know what Scorpios do. To be honest with you, I wouldn't play with that man. He has something. He has an 11th hour ace in his pocket. I think it's something on McCarthy that Biden is telling McCarthy, so we can play this one of two ways. One of two ways, your choice. Look at the card I have. The card I have is breathe. We can play this one of two ways. I'll slow walk this information. I'll slow walk it. I'll dribble it out. And, that'll give you a snowball's chance in hell of dealing with it. Or I can let this leak on Monday and let you spend the next week in front of TV cameras and microphones trying to explain yourself. So either way, this information's coming out. The question is, do you want a fire hose full of publicity, of problems, of accusations? Or do you want to deal with these accusations in a slower manner that will give you a chance to kind of get behind it, get your team together, get your, disaster team together? Your choice. What would you like to do? You got an hour. That's what I see Biden doing. And then I see him putting his phone down, adjusting his sleeves, and then strolling out to a nice picnic on Memorial Day. Now, that's going to go down on Memorial Day. And it could go down tomorrow. Now, I'm grabbing air. I don't know. This is energy. This is Biden playing his hand. We got to see what McCarthy's going to do. And we know McCarthy, if you're a new viewer, let me tune you into something. I saw McCarthy wearing MTG's bikini underwear. Now, you might think that he really is wearing that underwear, or you might think that's figuratively he's wearing her underwear. But either way, we know who's the boss here. So McCarthy's got his own people he's got to account to. So we don't know how McCarthy's going to play this. And it really puts McCarthy in a bind, because the card, the data, the evidence, the bad stuff that Biden has on McCarthy is on McCarthy. So does McCarthy save his own skin despite what MTG wants or any of his other handlers want? Or does he capitulate to the handlers and give himself up, sacrifice himself? Because either way, he's going down. It's just whether or not he tries to preserve himself by having this slow walked information, or whether he gets flambéed right off the bat. And believe me, the flambé that's going to happen with McCarthy is going to catch some of them other people on fire too. So they may say, might be a tough decision. Do we just sacrifice you? Do we flambe you and then I get second-degree burns? Or do we all huddle up together and try to slow walk this, right? I think they're going to slow walk it. I think they're going to say, no, I don't want to be flambéed. You don't want to be flambéed. Let's buy some time. So I think that's the behind the scenes energy of what's happening with the debt ceiling. Now, let's say that McCarthy says, I don't care. My handlers want to sacrifice me and I'm willing to be sacrificed. I'm going to hold out. I'm never, ever, ever going to vote for the debt ceiling be raised. Then what happens is you've got 5 Republicans. That's all we need is a handful of Republicans, and they will vote for it without McCarthy. You'll see the party split. Now, again, that's not good for McCarthy. If McCarthy knows his party's going to split, that's going to make him ineffective. That's going to emasculate him. Now, we all know he's already wearing polka dot colored thong bikini women's underwear. You would think that would be emasculating, but that might actually have an alternative effect we don't want to think about. Clear your eyes out. Okay. Jesus Christ. I follow the energy. It's not a straight line. It's not a straight line. It just goes over here and then over there and then over here. Okay. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to get the debt ceiling. It's going to raise. It's going to be raised one way or another. If you see McCarthy drag everybody back on Monday, then you know Dark Brandon has been in the House of Representatives. If they don't come back on Monday and they come back on Tuesday, then you know Plan B is going to happen, and Biden's going to unleash this information. It might not come from Biden. It's going to come from some other source. Of course it is. Biden's going to slip it over to somebody. Biden never has fingerprints on anything. He's not stupid, right? It'll come from some oblique angle. So it might not look like it's from Biden, but it will. He will unleash on them. This man, Biden, is tired. He's tired. He's like, I'm tired. I don't have time for all this shenanigans, all this malarkey. Tired of it. So you're going to start seeing much more, direct control of the narrative. So you can understand where my guides came in and the channeling really settled in. In the beginning, Susan was saying the Democrats are not being good at narrative, right? So you can kind of see the difference, right? In that little thing that just happened. Overall, it's going to be fine. Go out and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. And let me know what you think. What else do I need to tell you guys? Have faith, have hope. Have faith, have hope. Be ready for surprises. Be ready for falls from grace, as if there is any grace. I don't know who they talking about is in grace, because who you talking about it falls from grace? I guess the Republicans think those people are grace. I don't know, but I don't even know what they're talking about with that. Maybe just hang on to that. When they say things, there's a reason for it. You may see that in the news. Oftentimes I do these videos, I see the exact phrase the guides use in the news. Like when the guides were talking about fever dream, waking up out of a fever dream, I saw that in an article. I literally saw that in an article. Something else really quickly that happened, the guides talked about Ukraine, the offensive, right, being very strong. And they talked about overrunning the border to Russia. And they talked about a town called Belgorod, something like that. It happened. It wasn't the Ukrainian army, supposedly. It was partisans, but they attacked a Russian town called Belgorod. It actually happened. The guide said it a week and a half ago. It happened about 3 days later. Some viewers did comment and remind me and tell me that. I don't watch a lot of news. It's very negative. It's very harsh. It just bums you out. It makes you sad. So I don't go looking for when I was right and when I was wrong. I just don't. And besides that, it gets my ego into it. And then I'm like, oh, I screwed that up, or that didn't happen. I suck. and then my ego's into it. And then I don't want to do these videos, right? Because I'm putting myself out there and I don't want to look like a fool. I'm a Virgo. I'm a pragmatist. I'm a practical person. I don't like looking like a fool. So I would rather just tell you what they say and then close down the transmission if possible and move on with my life, right? So with that, happy Memorial Day. I hope whatever you do this weekend, that it's peaceful, that it's calm. And I would urge you that if it's not peaceful and calm, to go get some peace and calm for yourself. If you have to go sit in your car, if you have to go sit in the backyard, if you have to take a walk, whatever it is, if this weekend feels tension and strife filled for you, you have the power within you, you're gifted with your own human soul power to get yourself out of that. Go outside, go to the car, go to the grocery store, take a drive to the park. Give yourself 10 minutes of peace, 10 minutes of composure, 10 minutes of relaxation. If you're enjoying your weekend, hats off to you. Enjoy the food, enjoy your family. Give a thought to those that gave everything for our country, whatever that means to you. I understand that it's a complicated thing, and I understand that we have complicated feelings about it, right? Even my own dad, who was in the Korean War, he had complicated feelings about his service and about subsequent wars, right? We can hold space for that. We don't have to say, I think that's a false narrative, right? That we have to be 100% one way or the other. We can hold space that my dad served, my brothers served in various theaters. I have a brother that served in Vietnam. I have a brother that served in Desert Storm. So they have complicated opinions about what happened, but they did do it. They put politics aside and they did what they needed to do. And so let's just hold space for that. Okay. Let's hold space for our hearts. Let's hold space for humanity. Let's hold space for hope. Okay. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Much love to each and every one of you. And we'll talk soon. For entertainment purposes only.